Let's get into it right now. It is time for the opening drive. This is as big of a matchup as we've seen in college football openers in a long time. Number one, Texas.
Openers like this never live up to the hype. You think this one lives up to the hype?
Yes. Okay. I mean, you look at the star power, you look at teams.
But look at all the people that are gone from last year, too.
Yeah, but, I mean, we could have said that about Texas the year prior, and they made the college football playoff last year. Ohio State probably wash, rinse, repeat, and they're going to be awfully good this game over in Columbus. I'm as fired. The whole Manning mania has been getting out of control. There's now a cottage industry of fading Arch Manning. I don't know if you saw that. Like Awful Announcing had something. Jordan Rogers looked at some tape, and I thought it was a fair assessment. He goes, listen, I don't know if the tape of Arch Manning lives up to all the hype, which I think was a fair conversation. All of a sudden, I see Awful Announcing come up with an article, CD, that says Jordan Rogers is making his name as an analyst for
making his name. I feel like he's made a name.
Yeah, he's made a name.
Jordan Rogers is one of the best in what we do. So I would be, I think I've gone kind of the other way. My natural inclination was to pump the brakes and, hey, he shouldn't be the Heisman favorite in his first year as the starter. There's a lot of pieces that are missing around him up front of the offensive line, pass catchers from Gunnar Helm to Bond to Golden. Those guys are gone. But, I feel like I've kind of gone the other way now where I'm actually kind of in on it. I've gone back and watched more tape of his delivery.
The full boomerang.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be great. Maybe not so much. Yeah, he's good.
But that's the process that is the off season, right? I mean, we go through so much in trying to overanalyze because there's nothing else to do that. I think our opinions change a lot depending on kind of what we're seeing and who we're talking to.
Ohio State's won 25 straight openers. That place is going to be rocking. Of course, the last time Texas was in Columbus back in 2005, Vince Young of the Longhorns got that win with Mac Brown. Completely different scenario, even going back to last year where Ohio State defeated Texas, in which, again, I think it was a 2 touchdowns game, but it never felt that way. I mean, late into that game, you have a situation where Texas, first and goal from basically the 1, Sark tries to run the toss dive, everything just gets blown up by Caleb Downs, and the rest is history.
It really wasn't that the score was not reflective of how competitive the game was. And really, if you go back and look at Ohio State, I thought Texas outplayed them for a lot of the game. It was big plays. It was explosive plays. The Travion Henderson catch and run.
Right before half.
Yeah, you look at Jack Sawyer's scoop and score. And the ironic part about it is if you go back and look at the guys that made the most plays in that game, they're all on in the NFL now. For Ohio State.
Yeah.
Igbuka was one of them that was a big-time contributor in that game because Texas's defense did such a great job of taking away Jeremiah Smith. So that's one of the questions that I have in this game is who are the people? You're not letting Jeremiah Smith go off. So who are the people that are going to step up in his stead to kind of take the pressure off of that?
Well, I mean, you think about it. Last year, Ohio State won this game. Do you know how many catches and yards Jeremiah Smith had?
1 for 3.
1 catch for 3 yards. So the idea that the one player could wreck you, Texas did their best to bracket him, and yet still lost the game.
Igbuka is gone. Carnell Tate is back, though. But, there's a lot of other young receivers that Ohio State have that may not be as proven. So I just think there's tons of dynamics in this storyline. I'm just trying to, what's going on over there?
I'm trying to change my microphone here, just making sure that it's nice and straight.
It was
is that better? Right there. I feel like, okay, go ahead.
Had some rigidity issues over there.
Rigidity issues. Yeah. So real quick, before we head over to our next game, am I crazy in thinking that, of course, Ohio State has the home field advantage? We're going to give that to them. But the idea that this comes down to quarterback play, both of those guys talented. Arch probably has been in a college football system for his 3rd year, Julian Sands in year 2. But it comes down to the coordinators. For me, you're looking at Sark, who's always called offense there, so there's no change. Pete Swiatkowski, the defensive coordinator, he's been there, so there's consistency on that front. For Ohio State, Brian Hartline's never called plays. He's a new offensive coordinator.
He was an offensive coordinator before by title.
Yes, but he was not calling plays. Yeah. And I talked to Joe Sloan at LSU, the offensive coordinator. He goes, dude, the first year you're calling plays, you're drinking through a fire hydrant and a fire hose. So that's a concern. Also, Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, came from the NFL where we knew him. This is the first time he's been in the college game since 2003. I think that's a huge advantage for Texas.
Yeah, our former producer now, GR3, was talking about this before the show and mentioned kind of some of the issues that NFL coordinators and coming to the college game face, some of which have to do with the rules being different at that level, substitution, tempo, those types of things. So it'll be interesting to keep our eye on that. But I think the thing that I was talking about as it relates to Matt Patricia and his first time, calling defensive plays in college, I think there's this natural inclination as an NFL guy, because of all the time you have with players, to try to do too much. And I think that's especially true when you're talking about going up against Sark with everything that he shows you, what he's able to do in some of the route combinations. I think I'm worried for Ohio State that perhaps they're trying to put too much on the guys defensively, and so maybe you're not lined up. Maybe the communication in the back half of the defense isn't there where everybody's on the same page. You're probably playing a little bit slower, a little confusion. So I think those are the things that I'm keeping my eye on as it relates to the defensive side for Ohio State.
The AP poll's been out since 1978. This is the first time that the number one team in the country is going to be an underdog as the number one team in the country. That's wild.
And at home, nonetheless.
No, they're on the road.
Oh, Texas, yeah.
That's okay. Hey, it's preseason.
It's early.
It's week 1, week 0. Hey, we got to win one of these eventually. It's like when you go to roulette in Vegas and you're like, man, it's just been red 7 times in a row. There's no way it could be black. No way it could do it again, right? LSU's lost 5 straight openers. They have not won one.
Did you know that these two teams combined, though, in their last openers are 1-7? I think Clemson struggled a lot of those against SEC opponents as well. So it's not like either of them have been lighting up in their season debuts.
I love this game and I hate this game. I love this game because what you've talked about, CD, on our show so much is that the players, the fans, the interest, everybody's all excited about a monster matchup, and it doesn't get any better than LSU heading over to the other Death Valley. But I also hate it because I look at LSU right now and go, if they were playing the Amish School of Technology or Long Island University, like your Florida Gators are in week 1, I'd be penciling in LSU as a college football playoff team without a doubt. But this ultimately comes down to a coin flip game. And now they got big news that A.J. Halsey, the safety, the starting safety, as of Wednesday was going to be a starter. But then
we had some tattletaling going on.
There may have been some tattletaling, whether it's from the Clemson side or whatnot, that said, wait, by the way, he got ejected for the last game, that he was a transfer over in Houston. That needs to carry over to the first half of this game. Brian Kelly was not, and nor the SEC was even aware of it, I believe, until late Wednesday, early Thursday. So now he has to sit out the entire first half.
And there were reports that this came from some sort of fan that posted it on some website.
I don't know that to be true.
Hold on now,
I hope it is true.
Think about it.
Dabo, you snitch.
If nobody at LSU, nobody in the SEC knew about it, where else is this going to come from?
I would imagine, not AJ's going to be like, hey, y'all, just so you know. My parents forgot to ground me by any means. I will say this. I actually think it's a good thing. And it's obviously not a good thing you're going to miss one of your starters for the half. But what I mean by this is that it amps up a little bit that you got, all right, the cavalry's coming in the second half. But what if it was the opposite? What if all of a sudden he was not supposed to play in this first half? He plays the game. LSU goes on to win it, which I think they do. And all of a sudden afterward, Dabo's been sitting on it going, hey, by the way, y'all using an ineligible player. And then something happens.
I don't know whose responsibility is that. I certainly don't think you offer that up if you're Halsey. But, yeah, I think it's an interesting dynamic and another motivating factor. I know you've been high on some of the motivating factors that have been utilized in the preparation for this one, which I think is high schoolish as hell. But
you don't like the fact that they put paw prints in the LSU weight room and they made
the idea
a big
that they
deal
just in
out
general
of it.
all right, we're doing things differently this year. Well, why the hell weren't you doing it differently last year or perhaps the year before that?
Yeah, but what is the definition of insanity? It's trying to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And so for me, I've seen the last 5 results of season openers. They sucked. And so if all of a sudden Brian Kelly's going to have a different approach, hell yeah. I'm all in for
Why
that.
have they sucked? Tell me why they sucked.
They could not run the ball whatsoever, and defensively they were absolutely atrocious. And I think that's a big
it's just
difference.
Execution. I mean, remember the Florida State game? They're muffing punt after punt.
It was
the
special
penalties.
teams. Yep.
I mean, how about this? Just execute cleanly. Just do something that you've practiced for every single day leading up to the kickoff of the season.
We will break down LSU Clemson, give our thoughts on that game coming up a little bit later. We got more games to get into. This one, I'm not joking when I say anything could happen in this game. I could see an Auburn blowout. I could see a Baylor blowout. I could see 9 turnovers. I could see 6 different quarterbacks playing this game. I could see like a delay because of locust, like anything. Like whatever you told me, how this is a crazy thing that happened at Auburn Baylor, I would say I believe it before I even hear it.
I could see locusts in Waco, Texas. That seems like a place where loci.
I think it would be loci.
Yeah.
Chip and Joanna come out there. I think they've done every single house in Waco. Like, you know, the whole, like they got a cooking show now. I saw a couple of days ago. All right, I did not have
all over
that
the place.
on the bingo.
Yeah, I'm with you though. I think a lot of things could happen, and I honestly believe that Auburn has the highest ceiling and potentially lowest floor of any team in the SEC. There's so much we don't know about. And they've had one of the most difficult off seasons and things in terms of like public perception. I don't know if there's anybody that's taken more hits than what Hugh Freeze has. And we've talked about it before. Like, Coach Freeze, you don't have to answer every question that the media throws at you.
No.
But I think the thing that I'm keeping my eye on early on, how much success does the offense and specifically Jackson Arnold have? We know he had a lot of probably more downs than ups back in Norman, and that he's Coach Freeze has talked about, you know, trying to keep his confidence level up. I think they need to start fast, and I think this is a game that if they do well, if they're able to win it, could be a launching pad to a season where they, you know, push to get into the college football playoff. If they don't, I think it'd be the start of the death spiral for this year just after 1 week.
I'm not quite sure if anybody has a bigger first half of a game about how the whole season will play out, more so than Jackson Arnold, Hugh Freeze on the road. Did you just say something nice to me?
I did.
Nice.
In the break, you're going to have to fix that mic. I can't. Well, I can't.
You
look at
can't?
you this
It's a
way.
little bit messed up right now. I mean, here's the deal. I look at Dave Aranda, and we've known him back from the LSU days, exotic defense. But let's be honest with you, and Chris Marler brought this up about the amount of talent that's on Auburn squad and Baylor squad. It's not even close. You talk about blue chip recruits, 46 of them for Auburn on this roster. Baylor ends up having 14. This was not a great Baylor team last year. I think Sawyer Robertson, the quarterback, is pretty good. But outside of that,